Admiral Zethak of the Korthani Empire lounged in his command throne, mandibles clicking with amusement as he reviewed the intelligence reports on his holographic display. The primitive bipeds of the third planet, humans they called themselves, had finally achieved rudimentary space travel. How quaint. Their weapons technology is laughably archaic, he announced to his bridge crew, his six eyes gleaming with predatory satisfaction. Chemical propulsion for their projectiles, crude missiles that rely on explosive warheads. And look at this. He gestured dismissively at the tactical data. They still use kinetic weapons that fire metal slugs. Metal slugs. As if we haven't evolved beyond such barbarism millennia ago. The bridge erupted in chittering laughter from his officers. Commander Vaxil, his second-in-command, leaned forward eagerly. "Shall we commence the Purge Protocol, Admiral? Their planet's mineral wealth will serve the Empire well." Zethak's thorax swelled with pride as he gazed out at his magnificent fleet. 50 dreadnoughts, each bristling with plasma cannons and antimatter torpedoes, hung in perfect formation against the starfield. The jewel of Korthani engineering, vessels that had conquered 17 star systems without a single loss. "Begin the attack," he commanded, settling back into his throne. "But slowly. I want to savor this. Perhaps we'll toy with them first. Let them fire their pathetic weapons at our shields. The crew could use some entertainment." As his fleet advanced toward Earth's orbital defense grid, Zethak noticed something peculiar on the sensor readings. A single human vessel, roughly frigate-sized, had broken formation from their defensive line and was accelerating directly toward his flagship. One ship? Vaxil's antennae twitched with confusion. "Admiral, they're transmitting on all frequencies." "Put it through," Zethak ordered, curious to hear the desperate pleas of a doomed species. The view screen flickered to life, revealing a human female in a blue uniform. Her species' face was remarkably expressive, though Zethak found their lack of compound eyes disturbing. "This is Captain Sarah Chen of the UES Prometheus," the human declared, her voice steady despite facing impossible odds. "You have violated Earth's sovereign space. Withdraw immediately or face the consequences." Zethak's laughter boomed across the bridge. "Consequences? Little mammal, do you comprehend what you face? This fleet has glass-scorched worlds that dared oppose the Empire. Your primitive weapons cannot even scratch our defensive matrices." The human's expression remained unchanged. "We're aware of your capabilities, Admiral. We've been monitoring your advance for weeks." "Then you understand the futility of resistance," Zethak sneered. "Surrender now, and perhaps we'll allow some of your species to serve as laborers in our mining colonies." "Actually," Captain Chen said, glancing at something off-screen, "we've been using that time to test something new. We call it the Prometheus Project, a prototype railgun that accelerates projectiles to 15% light speed using controlled magnetic fields." Zethak's amusement deepened. "A railgun? You threaten the might of the Korthani Empire with a railgun? Child, our ancestors abandoned such crude technology before your species discovered fire." "Perhaps," Chen replied calmly, "but I doubt your ancestors' railguns could punch tungsten rods through dimensional barriers." The Admiral's laughter faltered slightly. "Dimensional barriers? You see, Admiral, while you were busy conquering primitive civilizations with conventional weapons, we've been thinking outside the box. Our prototype doesn't just fire projectiles through normal space. It briefly phases them through subspace, before re-emerging in our dimension at the target location." Zethak felt the first stirring of unease. "Impossible. The energy requirements alone would be impossible for most species," Chen interrupted, "but humans have a particular talent for engineering solutions to impossible problems. We built the railgun inside a hollowed-out asteroid and powered it with the entire output of our lunar fusion grid." On his tactical display, Zethak watched the human ship, this Prometheus, begin to glow with impossible energies. Exotic particles readings spiked beyond anything in his databases. "You're bluffing," he declared, though his voice lacked its earlier confidence. "Even if such a weapon existed, you have one ship against 50. Captain Chen smiled. a predatory expression that reminded Zethak uncomfortably of his own species' warface. "Admiral, our railgun doesn't fire individual projectiles, it fires swarms of them, thousands of tungsten rods, each one capable of vaporizing a dreadnought, all appearing simultaneously inside your ship's hulls." The energy readings from the Prometheus continued climbing. Warning klaxons began sounding across Zethak's bridge, as his sensors registered spatial distortions unlike anything in Korthani science. "This is your final warning," Chen announced. "Withdraw now, or discover why humans aren't as primitive as you assumed." Zethak's pride warred with his growing terror. The Korthani Empire did not retreat from mammals. Yet something in the humans' absolute confidence chilled his ichor. "Fire all weapons," he roared. "Destroy that ship before—" The Prometheus vanished. For a heartbeat, Zethak thought his weapons had succeeded. Then his sensors exploded with impossible readings. The human ship had somehow translated itself 30,000 kilometers away in the blink of an eye, positioning itself at the precise center of his fleet formation. "Prometheus firing," Chen's voice echoed from the communication array with calm finality. The space around the human vessel erupted in a corona of exotic energy. Reality seemed to ripple and tear as thousands of metallic objects materialized inside Zethak's ships, not striking their hulls, but appearing directly within their superstructures like ghostly materializations, becoming deadly solid. Zethak watched in horror as his flagship's internal bulkheads exploded outward. Emergency lights strobed as atmosphere vented through countless tungsten-sized holes. Around him, 49 other dreadnoughts suffered identical fates, their hulls remaining intact while their interiors were shredded by projectiles that had bypassed every defensive system by simply not existing in normal space during their transit. "Impossible," he whispered as his throne tilted sideways, artificial gravity failing along with everything else. Through the chaos, Captain Chen's voice reached him one final time. "Admiral, there's something you should understand about humans. We don't just think outside the box, we build weapons that shoot through the box." The Prometheus had already vanished again, leaving behind 50 dying dreadnoughts and the scattered debris of the Korthani Empire's pride. As Zethak's flagship broke apart around him, his last thought was that perhaps the Empire had seriously underestimated these strange bipeds who turned primitive concepts into impossible realities. In the void where the mighty Korthani fleet had been, only expanding clouds of wreckage remained, and somewhere in the distance, a single human ship, heading home to report that the prototype had exceeded all expectations.